Where did you get the numbers?
There's like the optional like book that's not optional but like is and like random stuff going on in chemistry. It was so dumb.
Okay, you ready for your test back?
No.
Yes. No.
Out of 100 points, the high score was a 98. Pretty good. So what we're going to do is I'll hand them back to you. I'll tell you what I was looking for. Again, like last time, if you think that you wrote what I was looking for, but I just
Screwed us all over.
whatever. You can we'll collect the test at the end, and you can tell me.
Oh my god, I was so confident. I was like, I could get 40s if this is out of 60
You can always
for
go
like the
make
rest of
sure
the
you
year.
add up my little hash marks, and I added correctly. Usually it's in your benefit, though. I usually kind of miss points. Also, if you missed a half a point, I don't have time to really do half point subtraction. So it'll only if you miss 2 half points will you get taken off, right? So you only miss 1 half point.
I'm
All right, you will. Oh, by the way, I need these back. I haven't entered them into the computer, and no cell phones, no pictures of the test or anything like that. Like only so many ways I can ask. What if we're having it for can't think so. Okay, May. Brooke, Naylor.
This is ruining my day.
Brittany. Riley. Oh yeah. Okay, Riley. Voice player. Yeah, wrong Riley. I've never had so many Rileys in one class. Caleb. Lene. Go. Kendra.
Where's Isabel?
JD.
Here, behind you.
Okay. Canyon. No Canyon today?
What happens here? It's the same
Daniela.
score as my other one, which is kind of wild.
Mia. Baxter.
I don't know
Joshua.
what the second half of the word for mouth was.
You did drones?
Chris.
Yeah, I went back and did little drawings.
No Chris Nichols. Carly Ann.
Oh, class. Even I don't read.
John Pearson. Another John. I look at my baby. Whatever. Clark Moore. Okay.
Which, the worms over here?
Thick ones. I said that they were like the
Rebecca Johnson.
and it was alright.
Skipped me.
Jenna.
I guess the top score was a 98. Oh my god.
Acacia.
I feel a lot better behind that.
Sage. Peyton.
Which one was it? This one?
This one was like the last one.
10 minutes, buddy.
86. Yeah,
Okay,
I thought it was,
Caitlin, Easter.
so I said walking through manure, and then that was wrong.
well, so is eating the
There you go.
goldfish. Because I thought it
Isabel.
was the Lamborghini or something.
No?
Yeah.
Good. Benny. Riley. Borden.
Go ahead.
The other Riley.
Were you the one?
Ariana.
Was it you?
Wiggins.
Oh my
Are
god.
you serious?
I kept getting knocked up. I
okay.
I couldn't remember what the mouth bird was.
Elijah.
What is it? Like the.
This one? Wait, which one was that?
This one's better. This
Canyon.
one.
Cytosol. Cytostone.
Cyto.
I need this back.
I knew it started with Cyto.
Chris
So I just
Nichols?
picked like the
No.
whole thing.
Isabel,
You guys watch it.
Elijah, all right. All right, let's go over this real quick, and then
I knew this
I
was
want to get on with some lecture
I
content
looked at
today,
it, I was like,
and then we have our next lab group to look at, analysts, so we're going to do segment work today. Also a reminder that Thursday is no class, right? I said that I would be out of town, or I'm leaving town Thursday, so I decided to just cancel class for Thursday. So I don't think anyone can usually protest my Okay. All right, let's see here. Okay, station one. These were in the phylum. These were the foraminifera. So the phylum Granuloreticulosa. Common name is foraminifera. The shells are made of calcium carbonate. They move using pseudopodia, right? I have a thing like I call double jeopardy. Like if you had accidentally thought those were radiolarians, you know, and then you actually had everything else correct. You know what I mean? Like if you put actinopoda, even though it wasn't, so that would be wrong. But then if next you put radiolarians, and then you put like silica, which means that you're answering correctly for your first wrong answer. Usually I gave it to you. So if I put DJ next to your little answer, and I didn't mark it wrong, I call it double jeopardy, which means that like if you get one wrong, it results in you cascading everything else wrong. If you're right for your wrong answer, it makes sense. I don't know. But all right, we got Elijah. All right, okay, station two. This was trypanosoma. In Central America, this organism causes Chagas disease. It's transmitted by a vector called the kissing bug, right? And the reservoir host of the parasite is wood rats. You know, I mean, some people wrote rodents. I don't know. You see what I gave you. The wood rat would be the best. Station three, Stentor is a member of the phylum Ciliophora. The organism is classified by its locomotion structure called cilia, and then food particles enter through the cytostome. Station four, malaria is in the phylum Apicomplexa, and the vector is a mosquito. Wetland mosquito is the best answer, but mosquito's fine. And the locomotion feature is its vector is locomotion. There's no locomotion structures. They use the vector to move around. Okay. Station five. There's a couple of answers here. This was trichomonas, and it's trichomoniasis would be the best answer, but vaginitis was okay. And I think some people wrote urinary tract infection. That's fine. Okay, so some reasonable answer there. And the phylum name is Axostylata, and that refers to the internal structure. I mentioned that it's probably for supporting the flagellum. And now, you know, I had a rough time because people were like locomotion. It's not really causing locomotion. It's helping the flagellum, so I want to be kind of specific on that one. Class. So anyway. Next page. The sponge is a member of the class Calcospongia, Calcarea. The old name was Calcospongia. The pointer is pointing to the spongocoel. The opening to the spongocoel, and the opening is called the osculum, and the spike-like structures on the outside are called spicules. Very good. Okay. Station 7. The pointer is aimed at the Okay, the pointer is aimed at specialized cells unique to the sponge phylum called choanocytes. So it's choanocytes. You know, on spelling stuff, you know, if it was pretty close, you know, I pretty much gave it to you, but like, you know, if it was too far off, it's either half point off or all the way off. So if you wrote like Chihuahua there, probably didn't give it to you. So even though it had the first two letters. The number 0 on the special cell type is called the amoebocyte, which transports nutrients. You didn't even really need to see the cell in order to answer that question, right? It was pretty self-explanatory. And they're interesting in that they have 0 tissue layers. Station 8, the successful stage of abelia, called polyp, and the structure with tentacles is for feeding. And the structure of the pointer is called a strobili, and the strobili are used for, the best answer is for asexual reproduction of Medusa. But I went ahead, I think I accepted reproduction. I just wrote reproduction. But it's asexual reproduction specifically is the best answer. All right. Station 9. This cell on the hydrotentacle is called a cnidocyte or nematocyst, but cnidocyte is the best answer. And it's unique to the members of the phylum, Nigeria. Anyway, and the phylum is simple because it has 2 tissue layers, right? Okay, cool. All right, station 10. These organisms are members of the phylum. These are chlorophyta. These are volvox, right? Chlorophyta. And they move by using structures called flagellae. And they feed exclusively by photosynthesis, or if you wrote chloroplast, that was okay too. And the non-protist kingdom most closely related is plants, or plantae. Okay, station 11, coral represents an organism that is a symbiosis between the 2 kingdoms, Animalia and Protista. And the photosynthetic organisms that form this coral are in the phylum Dinoflagellata. And then I put a bonus on there. I was actually surprised at how many people got the bonus. Very good job. But that was zooxanthellae. So you got +1 if you got zooxanthellae there. Or if you didn't get it right, it just should be blank, right? I think I went through and made sure I didn't accidentally mark wrong. Station 12. The true jellyfish is in the class Scyphozoa, and the jelly in a jellyfish is called mesoglia. If you wrote mesohyle, they could give you half a point. Or you took half a point off. If you wrote mesoderm, not correct. And the phylum displays radial symmetry, and the horseshoe-shaped structures are gonads, right? Perfect. Station 13. The cross-section of the planaria represents the pharyngeal or middle cross-section. I think if you wrote middle cross-section, I gave it to you. But pharyngeal is the best answer. The pointer is identifying the gastrovascular cavity. And this cavity is lined with endoderm. The number 30 on the scale is on the, this should be the pharyngeal cavity, right? The 30 All right, stage 14. The tapeworm is a member of the class Cestota. The anterior structure is called the stolex. Segments just posterior are called proglottids. Is the okay answer. Some people wrote young proglottids, which is better, but proglottids is fine. And they mostly contain testes or male gonads because they're immature. And then the tapeworm exhibits bilateral symmetry. All right, the posterior tapeworm structures are called mature proglottids or ripe proglottids was the best answer. That's why I put 2 dashes there. and they contain developing eggs or ovaries. Either one is fine. The intermediate host of dog tapeworms are fleas. There you go. And then Fasciola hepatica is a member of the phylum Platyhelminthes. And these flukes are members of the class Trematoda. The life cycle of the parasite here is the Cercaria stage. The Cercaria is the one that is the swimming stage, and they just emerge, they always emerge from an aquatic snail host, Cercaria. Station 17, the blood fluke causes the disease. The best answer is schistosomiasis, because that was the one we had. Some people wrote swimmer's itch, which is okay. So, how do humans acquire the parasite? You swim in contaminated water, or when you're swimming or wading, they drill into your skin. What other host does the parasite use? An aquatic snail. And here's the trick question of the test. The gender seen on the slide is both male and female. Both. Say circle one, it's a circle, right? Hint, on this next test, there'll be a similar question like that, because if it's a hermaphroditic organism, it has both male and female parts, right? Okay. Station 18. These tiny animals are members of the phylum Rotifera, and they swim and feed by using a ciliated corona is the best answer, but if you wrote cilia, that's fine. Not flagella. The false body cavity organism is called a pseudocoelom. All right, station 19, feeling itchy? This is the most common roundworm parasite in the United States, called pinworms. Humans are infected by, you said it, scratch your bum, suck the thumb. Scott, don't do that. And then the plastic tube is used for collecting eggs from the perianum or worms, but it's for sampling eggs. Okay. Station 20. This organism is the infective larvae that causes the disease hookworm. That was, and it had Necator exposed on the slide label.
No way.
Hookworm. And the parasite lives in the human organ, the small intestines or intestines. It's basically an intestinal parasite. How are you infected? Walking through contaminated soil barefoot. So they drill through your feet when you're walking through usually feces, contaminated soil. And then the cysts you see in the next slide, station 21, those are embedded in muscle tissue. And the parasite causes trichinosis. Trichinosis is the best answer there. And how do you acquire that infection? Is you eat undercooked or raw pig or bear meat. Infected pig or bear meat. Station 22, it's a cross section of the female Ascaris worm. The structure of the pointer was pointing at the gastrointestinal tract, and that structure is entirely made of endoderm. And then the cavity at the 0 should be the pseudocoelom. A bunch of people wrote like ovary, like, you know, the cavity. And I also kind of mentioned in class that I wasn't going to ask you about, don't ask on that line. I probably specifically asked you about the gastrointestinal tract and pseudocoelom, so that's what that goes for. Okay, station 23. The commercial sponge is a member of the class Desmospongia and identified by flexible structures called spongin. Sponges exhibit asymmetry, no symmetry, zero symmetry, right? Physalia is a strange animal because it's a floating polyp. Each tentacle must feed using its own gastrovascular cavity. Gastrovascular cavity is the best answer. I think if you wrote pharynx, that one accepted it here. Physalia is a member of the class Hydrozoa. Okay, the worm emerging from this poor insect is a member of the phylum Nematomorpha, and although related to other roundworms, this one lacks a complete gut tract. It has no gut tract or no intestine, making it different. These organisms are commonly called either horsehair worms or Gordian worms. It's fine. Station 26. These worms are a parasite commonly called heartworms. The vector for the parasite is mosquito. Tree-hole mosquito is the best answer, but mosquito is fine. And these worms are members of the phylum Nematoda. Stage 27. This ornate organism is a member of the phylum Porifera, and the class was Hexactinellida. And the skeletal remains here are made of silica, or SiO2. And then station 28, I threw that last minute to get one more station in. But you're infected by the Ascaris worm by eating unwashed garden vegetables or eating manure-contaminated vegetables or produce. It's usually the way. I mean, I guess if you wrote ingestion, if you ingest the eggs, you don't ingest the worm. You're not going to make the spaghetti out of it. Okay, so I need these back, and so here's what you do if you're cool with your test. Let's take like a long 10-minute break or so, and give me your test back if you're done. If you have any questions, line up over here and show me one by one. We'll take the test first, and then I'll address the questions. Got it? You want? Okay, cool. Out of 100, 98 is the high score. We had a couple in the 90s. So, in the end, I might curve the test. And if you have any questions, line up over here. If I made math errors, I probably made them in your benefit, so don't worry about it. You don't have to tell me. Okay. Questions?
Yeah, why?
All right.
Fine. No, I'm just gonna.
I'll enter these in after
Yeah.
class, and so you can kind of get an idea of where you're standing.
I think I have a method now.
And
So I'm not worried about it. But in the beginning, I was like, oh, I can remember. No, I can't.
The way that all the information was gone the moment you started talking about it today.
I know that's what I'm worried about, but I think I found a way again.